I thought I was doing everything right. 20 years in consulting, Big Four, good money, respected in my field, and then at 42, I fell apart. I'm Daniel Kiel, founder of SAP Unplugged. I've worked at Deloitte, IBM, ServiceNow, SAP across 3 continents, and I'm here to bring clarity to something nobody talks about until it's too late. Burnout in consulting doesn't just make you tired, it ends careers, and mine almost ended that way. Here's what happened. I was a senior manager working in a multi-million dollars application management services contracts and also customers. I had multiple work streams, tight deadlines. I was managing team across different time zones with client calls at 6 a.m., status meetings happening late in the day. Weekends just disappeared. And I told myself it was just temporary. Just get through this project, just finish this phase. But it never ended. One project rolled into another. The intensity never let up. And I kept saying yes because that's what you do in consulting. You deliver. You don't complain. You don't slow down. You prove you can handle it. No one really cares if you're carrying more than you should. It's just business and numbers. But yep, you can make a lot of money from it. I stopped sleeping well. I was super angry with my family with no reason. I couldn't focus in meetings. I would just read an email 3 times and still not process what it said. An absolute brain fog. My body was telling me to stop, but I just ignored it. And then one day, I couldn't do it anymore. I reached out to my leader saying that I had to step away for a few days. Then I ran through the doctors until I was diagnosed with a burnout. But the damage was already done. I was away for a month. Then 2 months after I returned, I was let go. Not because I wasn't capable, but because I was burned out and it showed. And at 42, with 2 decades of experience, I was unemployed. Here's what nobody tells you about a burnout. It's just not feeling tired. It's not just needing a vacation. Burnout rewires how your brain works. You lose the ability to make decisions. You lose your edge. The thing that used to be easy, prioritizing, problem solving, managing people, become impossible. And in consulting, you can't perform at a high level consistently. You are expendable. It doesn't matter that you gave 20 years. It doesn't matter that you delivered dozens of successful projects. One bad quarter, one missed deadline, one client complaint, and you're out. I lost my job. I lost my income. I lost my identity. For 20 years, I was the SAP guy. I was the person who solved problem. I was the expert, and suddenly I was nobody. Unemployed at 42 with a resume that said just SAP and Big Four, but a brain that couldn't function. I couldn't just jump into another role. I was really, really broken. I needed months to recover, but I still had to provide to my family. And during that time, I had to face something terrifying. I didn't know who I was outside of work. My relationships were damaged. My health was wrecked. I would sacrifice everything for a career that just discarded me the moment I couldn't keep up the pace. And here's the worst part. I saw the signs and ignored them. I knew I was burning out, but I thought I could just push through. I thought admitting I was struggling would make me weak. So I just kept going until my body and my mind forced me to stop. If there is a good news on all of this, is that you don't have to learn this the hard way. If you are in consulting or considering it, you can just build a career that doesn't destroy you. But you're going to need to understand what actually causes burnout and how to protect yourself. So what did I learn about burnout and how to survive consulting? Let me try to break this down. Burnout isn't caused by working hard. It is really caused by working hard without a recovery, without boundaries, and without alignment. Here's what I learned the hard way. 1, you have to set boundaries, even when it feels impossible. In consulting, there is always another call, always another deadline, another client asking for more. If you don't set your own limits, the work will consume everything. I didn't set boundaries. I answered emails at midnight and I took calls on the weekends. I said yes to everything and I paid for it. Here's what I wish I would done. Define my own non-negotiables. For me, it should have been family dinners. It should have been no work after 9 p.m. unless it's an actual emergency. It should have been 1 full day off per week, no exceptions. because you have to protect your recovery time, or you're gonna run out of fuel just as I did. 2, you have to recognize the early signs and act. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It really builds over months. You start sleeping poorly, you lose interest in things you used to enjoy. You feel cynical about work, you stop caring about quality, and you just want to get things done. Those are warning signs, and I ignored every single one. Here's what I wish I would done. When I noticed I couldn't sleep, I should have talked to my manager. I should have asked for a lighter load, at least for a few weeks, right? I should have taken time off. Instead, I just pushed harder, and that was a big mistake. 3, you have to separate your identity from your job. I was my career. When I lost my job, I lost myself. I didn't have hobbies. I didn't have a life outside of work. And when work disappeared, I had nothing. Here's what I wish I would done. I would build a life outside of consulting, pursued interests that had nothing to do with SAP or tech or clients or deadlines, so that when work got hard, I had something to anchor me, like I have here. SAP Unplugged is my anchor. 4, you have to choose the right projects and firms. Not all consulting environments are the same. Some firms burn people out systematically. Some projects are just toxic. Some people are toxic. I stayed in situations I should have left because I thought I had to prove I could handle it. Here's what I wish I would done: being more selective. Ask better questions during interviews. Walked away from projects that were clearly understaffed or mismanaged. Our career is long. One bad project isn't worth your health. 5, you have to build financial resilience. Consulting pays well, but if you're spending everything you make, you're just trapped. You can't say no to bad projects. You can't take time off. You can't recover. And I made good money, but I didn't save aggressively enough. When I lost my job, I panicked. And here's what I wish I'd done: lived below my means, built 6 to 12 months of savings, so if I needed to step away, I could. Financial freedom gives you career freedom. So let me try and make this simple. Here's how you can protect yourself if you're in consulting or thinking about getting in. Step 1, just define your boundaries. Even before you get started, what are your non-negotiables? Time with family, sleep, exercise, video game. Write them down and just protect them. Number 2, check in with yourself monthly. Are you sleeping? Are you enjoying your work? Are you feeling cynical or detached? If yes, that's a red flag. Don't don't wait. Just talk to someone and adjust. 3, you build a life outside of work. You need to find some hobbies. You need to invest in relationships. Create your own identity that isn't tied to your job title, so that when work gets hard, you just still have a foundation. Step 4, choose projects and firms carefully. Not all consulting works the same. Ask about the team size, ask about hours, ask about turnover. If the answers are red flags, just, trust me, walk away. 5, build financial resilience. Save aggressively. Live below your means, create space so that you're not trapped by money. Financial margin gives you the freedom to say no or choose something better. But the reality is that consulting can be a great career. But it might also take everything that you give it. And if you don't protect yourself, it will take more than you can afford to lose. I talked to dozens of consultants who went through something similar. Some just burned out and recovered, some left consulting entirely, and some just found ways to stay in the industry but on their own terms. The ones who survive long-term are the ones who set boundaries early and really stick to them. Now, if you're in consulting or thinking about getting in and you want to build a career that doesn't destroy you, boundaries, financial planning, choosing the right projects, building resilience, we talk about this and much more during our Accelerate mentorship cohort. It's an opportunity to share experiences, dreams, and really have strategies to grow your career without losing track on what's important, like family. It's not about working less, it's about working smarter and protecting what matters. Link is in the description for application, and this is for people who want a career that lasts. I burned out at 42. I lost my job. I lost months of my life recovering, and I'm rebuilding now. It's a construction, but I didn't have to learn in this way, and you don't either. Consulting can give you an incredible career and money, but it might cost you everything if you let it. Set boundaries, recognize the signs, build a life outside of work, choose carefully, and save aggressively. If this resonates with you, if you felt the early signs of burnout, or you're trying to avoid what happened to me, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't, and drop a comment. Are you in consulting now, or are you feeling the pressure? I want to know where you are, and I read every comment. We'll make SAP career simple and sustainable together. You don't have to burn out to succeed, and I wish I know that before.